What do you think is the best thing about your son?
He's like a very good kid. In the heart, he's very good.
Yo creo que Jorge tiene una forma de pilotar muy elegante.
For sure, everybody has pressure. It's a smart guy. He don't do stupid things.
Jorge es muy cabezón, tiene una rutina muy marcada.
Which of those jobs did you like better?
Father of Jorge Prado is the best.
So right now we are in Rome, pretty much Rome center, so pure Rome, let's say. I grew up in Lugo, Galicia, which I need to say it's a Roman city. So actually I have some connection with Roma. I spent a lot of time also at my grandparents. My dirt bikes were always there. They have like a house with some land. I was always in touch with nature. I was always in touch with sand, with bicycles, with dirt bikes. But yeah, it all happened in Lugo. I mean, there I started riding trials and motocross, so where everything started.
Yeah, I love the sport overall, and I was cycling a lot when I was young. And since there, I have a really big passion about training.
When it comes to training or racing, I think I got it a little bit from my father. I get a lot of positive things from him, and I think discipline is one of those.
He's talking only about the good things he can pick from me, and that's correct, because I have much more bad things than good things, but to pick the good things is the, is the main thing.
All right. Wasn't that just so warm and cuddly? Of course, if you ask a father what he thinks about his son, you're gonna get his honest answer. But if you want the whole story, we also think you might want to ask his girlfriend.
¿Qué? No.
Context. Jorge's girlfriend, Montse Cruz, is a Spanish television host, which means she sounds really smart in Spanish, but she hates speaking English on camera.
No, it's impossible. I don't have the vocabulary for speaking English, though. Sorry. Italian or Spanish.
Does Jorge speak Italian?
Yeah, and Dutch, and English, and French, incredible.
Okay, back to the point. If you want an honest opinion of a man, ask his girlfriend.
Mi nombre es Montse Cruz, soy la pareja de Jorge Prado desde hace 5 años y bueno, estoy con él, le acompaño y le ayudo a que pueda cumplir su sueño. Es raro decir como soy Montse Cruz, la novia de Jorge, ¿no? Es como mi vida no existe, gracias.
Montse certainly exists, and she certainly knows Jorge in a way few other people do. So, let's get the dirt.
Una cosa mala de Jorge, no, muchas malas. No, él no es perfecto. Jorge tiene muchas cosas malas. O sea, Jorge es muy cabezón. Por ejemplo, no sé, tiene una rutina muy marcada y si a las 10:30 no está en la cama, él no, tenemos que ir a dormir. Pues bueno, es que es su vida, él lo entiende así. Sus rutinas son sus rutinas y no las cambia. A Jorge es imposible ya cambiarlo. Él es como es y ya está.
All right, don't worry. We're not going to beat him up too much. Montse and Jorge have been together for almost 5 years. In that time, they've got to know each other incredibly well.
¿Alguna cosa que le sorprenda a Jorge? Algo que tenga que ver con motocross, algo que tenga que ver con 2 ruedas, con la velocidad. No sé, es difícil porque está tan integrado dentro del mundo del motocross que tampoco Jorge es una persona que le gusten los grandes lujos, es una persona súper sencilla. Entonces creo, bueno, sí, mira, a Jorge le sorprendería regalándole aceite de oliva, que le encanta, el jamón, le encanta, cosas de comida, algo que le puede sorprender. Luego, sin embargo, no le gusta otro tipo de cosas que, no sé, por ejemplo, los coches no le interesa, no, tener algo material tampoco le interesa. El navegar, por ejemplo, le gusta en el barco cuando tiene tiempo, porque nunca tiene tiempo. pero sí, algo de comida. En verdad que somos muy caseros, nos gusta estar en casa, no nos gusta salir de fiesta, no bebemos alcohol, no hacemos ese tipo de cosas. Está muy pendiente de pues, que tú estés bien, siempre está sonriendo. Eso es difícil en una persona, porque yo a veces tengo días buenos, otros días los tengo malos, me enfado por cosas y él siempre sonríe, siempre está así. Tiene como un corazón muy grande.
Thankfully, that's one thing the dad and the girlfriend agree on. Jorge's got a great big heart. But this wasn't the end of our conversation with Montse. A few minutes later, Montse switched back to English and started talking about what nobody else wanted to talk about. The championship, which could be decided just a few days after our interview.
I never speak about that because you didn't know if it's good for him or not. Now when the pressure is more high because it's more close, and motocross is motocross. It doesn't speak too much about the championship, and also the team doesn't speak too much, but the pressure is normal, but good pressure, not bad.
Yeah.
He's like
Look, if I think about the championship, look,
imagine that I win. Yes, why not? And it should feel really, really excited, no?
yeah,
For him,
he's like waiting.
yes, it's like, whoa, you never know if one day you win, no? And the pressure
Yeah,
must be high,
A lifetime of riding dirt bike, years of training and competition all around the world, and the whole family watching to see what will happen next. Sounds like a lot of pressure indeed. But Jorge? Nah. Don't worry too much about Jorge. If you want to ask yourself what Jorge's favorite thing in the world is, well, the answer is pretty obvious. It's got 2 wheels, an engine, and it rides on dirt. But if you want to ask yourself what his second favorite thing in the world is, well, it's quite a bit different. Jorge's boat isn't flashy. It isn't big. It's got room for him and maybe a few friends to spend a day out on the water. But what it offers is huge. It's a chance for Jorge to relax, to take his mind off the racetrack and reflect on himself. And that's what we did today.
Still quite relaxing. I never spend much time here. I'm here for a bit. It's also quite nice.
You mean in Rome, in general?
No, here.
Or here at the
Harbor.
harbor?
It's quite nice. I woke up this morning and I was like, yeah, let's go riding. I was really like, I woke up and I opened the window. I saw it was sunshine and just a combination of sunshine, feeling good. Oh, let's go riding. And it happens a lot because I love riding. So it happens almost every time I go to the track. So it's quite cool. Whoa.
It was at this point that I, your friendly interviewer, stood up and almost knocked a 10,000 euro camera into the water.
If that drops,
That would hurt a lot more. That would have hurt a lot more. Speaking of, Fabio, when we get back, we should check the insurance.
do you have insurance for the cameras?
22 years old, world champion in motocross, and he's asking about insurance. He may be a young man, but he's been thinking like an adult for a long time. And you see it in every part of his life, including his relationship with Montse.
Actually, like, she and myself, like, have a great, like, communication and, like, it's quite easy going. Like, I don't know, it's hard to find someone that makes you laugh, and if you feel uncomfortable, you still feel comfortable in some way, you know what I mean? For example, you go out for dinner and you make a joke and the only person that laughs, it's your partner, you know what I mean? You need to have that kind of feeling, I think. I don't have time for anything. I only have time for training and to focus on myself. So if someone wants to jump in, it's all right, but needs to understand that my priority it's racing right now. Sometimes, yeah, you would like to spend a bit extra time. For example, if you go out with friends and they tell you, let's go for dinner, and say I don't go if we don't go at the time I say. And if we don't take the food, I say, because otherwise it's not working. You need to think about what's best for you. Obviously, you need to think about the people you love and you need to treat them well. But there is one goal, and that's to be, my goal is to be world champion. And sometimes you need to be egoist to be a champion, you know? I can be like, not two different persons, but I can be very nice, and that's my personality, to just be positive and smiling and nice to people. But at the same time, I have one goal, and I'm very focused on what I need to do. I'll follow my way, and that's the way I want to follow. So I'm quite clear in my goals and my focus. Am I a perfectionist? I would say not all the time, but the most of the time. With that being said, I try to do everything as best as I can, but obviously I'm a human, so a human can't be perfect all the time. But I try to be as perfect as I can be. I try to be a very good person, and I try to do all my training and all my work as best as I can. I try to treat people the best way, at least how I want them to treat me. Maybe I could be a bit more clear at times, but I'm like that. I like to feel that if I'm with someone, that person feels happy and feels good. I don't want to say something that could make that person hurt. In that way, sometimes I'm a little bit, not 100% clear. In my daily life, I'm more like that. I need to say at work, I hate calling motocross work because I don't feel like work. But let's say at the track, I can be a little bit more straight and say things more like I think.
At the track, that's where Jorge does his best work, or at least his most important work. And while Papa might be the partner in crime, the person in charge at the track is this guy, Davide Di Carli.
When I saw Jorge came with his father with his 85 bike, it was looking amazing. You could see already that guy says something extra. Imagine also how hard this sport is. It looks like he doesn't have pressure, but for sure he has. The team, the mechanics, Jorge also, and his family around, but you need to keep everything calm. It will be a dream for me to win the title, The youngest team manager, a big future in the front, let's say. I mean, Jorge, it's a really simple guy, and when you spend a time off with him, it's a different guy, because in the race you are more focused, and you need to be focused to do your job. When you go maybe in the restaurant or we go together in the boat, it's a different guy, This weekend we went with the boat to the island, and that was cool. How he ride today, really relaxed. That's also because he was really relaxed also on the boat on Sunday. For me, is the example how you should ride a dirt bike. The perfect example. I would like that we will stay together for a long term, for sure.
This motocross world, it's quite crazy. We all know it's a tough sport, so I think how more you train, more lucky you get. So if you get to the races super prepared, mentally, physically, whatever, bike setup, everything ready, you can be more lucky. You have a bigger percentage that things can go right than wrong. You know what I mean? And in your daily life, also be healthy with your food, be disciplined when you go to sleep. So many other things that make you be a bit more lucky. So in motocross, I think, because it's also a bit of a man's sport, like rude and get stones, you gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, a tough guy, They show a little bit too much of that man's attitude, kind of like, the roost doesn't hurt me, the heat, I don't even feel it, it's cold, it's okay for me too. So So there are so many riders that kind of have that vibe. I don't care about that. If they want to be like that, it's their option. I just like to be more myself. When I'm behind someone and the stones start to come, I'm like, oh, it's hurting. But yeah, at the end of the day, you gotta enjoy what you're doing, and I think that's the most important thing, right? So you gotta save money because, I mean, the motocross career, it's often short. So
Do you think about this already?
yeah, I mean, the career I can have, it's not too long. I mean, you can't be riding, maybe yes, but you don't see often many guys battling for titles when they are 40, you know?
Or do you have a number in your head?
I never had the number, and I think I will never have a number. I will just keep going till I say, I don't want to train, I don't want to ride, which probably will never happen, but at one point, you know, I will need to stop also. So hopefully I'm lucky enough to survive many years without injuries, but it's so tough because sometimes it's about being a bit lucky, you know? Sometimes you crash and you have a big crash and nothing happens, and sometimes you have a small crash and then you break something, so you gotta be a little bit lucky in the sport. When I was a kid, I always dream about racing Supercross, and obviously still right now I think about going in the stadium and racing under the lights. I'm still very young. This year everything is going very well, so one of my goals or main goal has always been being world champion MXGP, and hopefully this year we can make it happen and we can finish off the season with a #1 plate, and that would be amazing. And I think that would make a big difference because I would be more open for new adventures after getting one world title. That has been always been my dream, so I could be more open to try different things, like maybe racing Supercross in the future. So we only have one life, and we gotta go all in. I bought my first car 1.5 years ago, my first car. I'm 22. And I won already, before I was 18, 2 world titles. I was driving with a normal pickup, you know, around from a sponsor, and I didn't care. I was good. I was happy. I don't need a lot of stuff to be happy, you know. So if I have the possibility to buy a boat, and it's something that I like, it's something that I enjoy and I use, because every time I'm here, I pretty much come here every day. It makes me feel more relaxed and helps me also for my work. I spend so much time with my father, and I've spent so much time too traveling around the world with him, and I still see him every day. And sometimes I think something and he's just thinking the opposite. So, but I need to say, we barely fight. Like, I can't remember any fight maybe in the last months, you know. No, I think it's quite funny, because I was telling my father this year, I remember coming back from a race, and we were sitting in the plane, and I was like, imagine this year we can get world champions, because we are in a position where everything looks good, and it's so difficult, but we can make it happen. And I always talk about we, I never talk about I'm going to be world champion, because I feel like it's a dream from my father and from myself. He has been always super focused about, hey, how can I get Jorge get better, comfortable, more fit, faster. It's an adventure that we live together. Now that I think about it, I'm quite lucky.
Who's better at driving the boat?
Myself, for sure, because I always navigate and I'm the one with the license. I'm the one with the license, so.
Perfect. Take it easy.
Whatever.
All right.
Bye.
After 2 days of hanging out in the sunny hills and the sparkling seas of southern Italy, I said goodbye to the Prado family on Tuesday September 13th. A few days later, in Maggiora, a place that feels like his home track, 22-year-old Jorge Prado achieved something he and everyone around him had been working towards for his whole life. World champion, MXGP. It was a dream come true. But what did he do after that? Well, we don't really know. But we really don't have to ask. We can tell you. Jorge had a meal, probably pasta, got a good night of sleep, spent a day with the family, and got right back to practice. Because after all, what is practice but insurance for the next race?